So in today's video, we are going to discuss about neurons in general. What are neurons and what are the basic classification and functions of neurons? Uh, Neuron is the basic fundamental unit of the nervous system, and right over here in this sample is given a multipolar neuron. Now these generally consist of mostly three parts: the cell body, the axon, and the synaptic terminals. The cell body consists of two kinds of processes, the axon and the dendrites. The dendrites bring in nervous impulses from the other neurons, and the axon transmits it from the cell body to the synaptic terminals and thus to the other neurons. The synaptic terminal forming the end of the neuron. Now, the cell body has a prominent nucleus and highly developed network of endoplasmic reticulum, uh, and a lot of mitochondrions and Golgi apparatus. The mitochondrions help in supplying of a high amount of energy to the cell body, and the Golgi apparatus help in the production of the neurotransmitters. Now there is also a portion in the cell body which does not consist of any organelle. It is a white portion through, but it does not consist of any organelle which has previously been seen. That is the axon hillock. It forms the origin point or the starting point of an axon, which is a single long filament strand which, as I said, transmits the nervous impulse from the cell body to another neuron. Now, this one given over here is a multipolar neuron, indicated like over here. And as we see, the dendrites, there are many dendrites which are smaller in size and are subdivided into the dendritic branches, whereas there is the axon, which is, for this case, is unbranched. It may be branched for some, with having collateral branches rising right from one axon. That mostly happens in myelin sheath, though, but nonetheless. And then the axon has a terminal end at the synaptic terminals via the telodendria. Now, uh, what are the basic classifications that we do see in neuron? Now, there are first one kind of neuron which is classification which is depending on the number of processes, which is let's try to get a bullet point over here. Yeah. Unipolar, bipolar, pseudo-unipolar, oh, spellings, there's an I, still does not recognize the word, multipolar. So all of these being counted now. Unipolar consists of one axon and is located only in embryos. Okay, bipolar consists of one axon and one dendrite. Pseudo-unipolar, and this one also, its function. Yeah, I am writing the structural classification and the function. Bipolar also has a function as the first neuron in most pathways. Not every, but most pathways. Some are very simple and don't require these as the only one, so they are first and the only one, so like that. But maybe in some cases they are more. Most cases they are more. Now pseudo-unipolar consists of a short process which divides to form one dendron or dendrite actually and one axon. What is the function? It forms cranial and spinal ganglion and nerves. So all the basic most commonest nerves that you see are basically pseudo-unipolar nerve fibers consisting of pseudo-unipolar neurons. And multipolar consists of many dendrites, there's no I, yeah, and one axon. Okay, now function of this one forms interneurons. I'm going to write down little interneurons, and I will explain interneurons in separate one now. Now, number two, yeah, depending on function, sensory, motor, and interneurons, and one more mixed. Now, what is what? Sensory transmits impulse from receptor organ to, we will say, CNS. Okay. Now this motor neuron transmits impulse from the CNS to effector organ. This one forms a network or a link between sensory and motor, and the mixed one acts as both sensory and motor neuron, basically. Now, what is the other type of classification that you may think of? They are what we can say depending on presence of myelin sheath. Now, what is myelin sheath? Myelin sheath is basically just a covering formed around an axon by the Schwann cells, which help in insulating the nerve fiber from one to another, uh, insulate the nerve impulse, and also it helps in quicker transmission of the nerve impulse because it forms nodes of Rendezvous wherever it is discontinuous. It is a discontinuous layer, and wherever it is non-present, it forms a node of Rendezvous. In this case, the impulse jumps from one to the other. The saltatory transmission of nerve impulse is done in this case, and the nerve impulse is thus transmitted much faster than it would have been through a normal action potential produced on the nerve fiber. So myelin sheath helping does two ways. The one which has myelin sheath is known as a myelinated neuron or nerve fiber in general, and the one which doesn't has is known as non-myelinated neuron or nerve fiber. So that's it with the classification. I hope you liked the video, and please leave a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel. It surely helps a lot. Thank you.